What's happening, everybody? Jeff Lightsy Jr. here with the Black Boss channel. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe. Now, the Deshaun Watson case is only getting worse and worse for the Houston Texans quarterback. A 14th lawsuit has been filed against Deshaun Watson through the state of Texas. And this lady actually went as far as to call him a serial predator. This is not my words. This is the words of the lady that they're referring to as Jane Doe, the 14th woman to file a sexual assault lawsuit against Deshaun Watson. So let's go ahead and read this article from ESPN that was published today about Watson. Let me scroll up to the top and we're going to read this together. It says a 14th lawsuit alleging sexual assault and inappropriate conduct was filed against Deshaun Watson by a woman who says she believes the Houston Texans quarterback is, quote, a serial predator. Serial predator. That is tough. That is some harsh words. The lawsuit, which was filed Monday night and appeared in Harris County District Clerk's website Tuesday morning, alleges Watson assaulted and harassed the plaintiff. Let me cut this stuff off real quick so we can get back to what we got to do. Assaulted and harassed the plaintiff and forced her to touch his penis. The incident allegedly took place in California, just the second of the 14 allegations to take place outside the Houston area. The traveling massage therapist alleges that when she arrived at the address Watson gave her, he led her to a room, locked the doors behind him. After Watson allegedly, quote, forced the plaintiff's hand on his penis during the massage, he allegedly told her, "I will not have you sign an NDA. Just don't ever talk about this." The plaintiff alleges that Watson reached out to her on Instagram in December, acting as if, quote, nothing happened. Watson has denied wrongdoing through his attorney, Rusty Harding, and he put out a statement on Twitter. Tony Busby, the attorney. Now, here's where it gets really, really serious. So Tony Busby, the attorney for the plaintiffs, 14 of them now, and he says he has over 20. There's 14 that have filed, but he says that he has over 20 women with similar stories. That is just very disturbing. In an Instagram post on Saturday, that he would submit affidavits and evidence from several women to the Houston Police Department and the Houston District Attorney Monday morning. He also said he will request a grand jury consider the evidence and determine whether charges should be brought up against Watson by the state of Texas. Now, here's why that's important. All of these lawsuits are just civil lawsuits. Basically, you can make them go away by writing a big check. But if criminal charges are brought up against Deshaun Watson, now he's facing jail time. He's not just going to lose money. He could potentially put his life could be on the line by being thrown in prison. That is significant. That is huge. That is a twist, right? Busby saying he is going to submit evidence to a grand jury, and if a grand jury finds that this evidence is prevalent and relevant, and they can open a criminal investigation into Deshaun Watson. That is a turn of events. That is different than getting suspended from the NFL. That is different than settling civil lawsuits. Actually going to jail, that is your livelihood. That's not your job. That is your life. That's a big twist in this case. He could potentially be going to jail. We're going to harp more on that later. If convicted, right? Like, because you're always, don't get it twisted. You're innocent until proven guilty. But that is a twist in this case. That is not something that I had heard before. This is the first I'm hearing of potentially criminal charges. So it says a spokesperson for the Harris County District Attorney Office said Monday that it'd be inappropriate. They said, quote, it would be inappropriate for the District Attorney's Office to comment on a civil lawsuit, and we refrain from publicly discussing allegations in any matter until the criminal charges are filed. We do this out of fairness to all. That's big. So that also looks into Tony Busby, right? I'm not saying that the women are lying, right? Because where there's smoke, a lot of times there's fire. 14 women saying you did the same thing, that's not a good look. But Tony Busby openly talking about potentially getting criminal charges could be one of two ways. One, you can look at it one of two ways. One, you can look at it as, like how I said, like, whoa, that's huge, because if they open an investigation and he could potentially go to jail. But there's also the flip side, and this is what the district attorney office down in Houston said. It's like, we're not going to publicly talk about criminal charges because you're convicting him in the court of opinion, and he hasn't been charged with anything. You're making him look like a criminal when he has not been charged of anything. He hasn't lost any court battles. They're just lawsuits, and he hasn't even lost those yet. So he hasn't lost any court battles. He hasn't given up any money in this case and settled anything. And you're convicting him before he gets a fair trial. So that's also a thing you can look at into Tony Buzbee. And I'm going to get rid of that real quick. You can look at Tony Buzbee and be like, what is his game? What is his end deal? Because you're saying, like, okay, I get it. If something happened to these women, Deshaun Watson should get dealt with. Absolutely. I'm not here to defend Deshaun Watson. I don't know that man. But if something happened to these women, absolutely he should get dealt with. But I'm not saying if these women are lying, but to come out and publicly state that you're going to take this to the courts, to come out and publicly state that you're going to try to get them to open an investigation instead of just going right to him, now you're trying to make him look like a criminal, and he has not been convicted of anything. He has not gotten his day in court yet. He has not been convicted of anything. He has not gone to, like, you're taking him to the stake and nothing's happened yet. Yes, you have these lawsuits. Yes, you're defending these women. Yes, you're on the representative side of these, these alleged victims. But you can't come out and sit here and say, we're going to get these criminal charges too, when no settlements have been made, no payments have been distributed. Deshaun Watson has not gotten his day in court. That is a publicity scheme. And even the district attorney's office down in Houston was like, until criminal charges are filed, we're not going to comment on it because it's all in the stake of in the name of fairness. The law enforcement ain't always been fair, but they're fair right here. They're being like, man, we're not going to comment on this publicly because this man hasn't been convicted of anything yet. And it's just super ironic that all of this stuff is happening. And once again, I'm not saying Deshaun Watson's innocent of anything, but he is innocent until proven guilty. I will say that. I'm not saying that he didn't do these things, but he is innocent until proven guilty. And I will die on that hill. I will die on that. You are innocent until proven guilty. We don't have any evidence. At least it's not made publicly yet. It's not made public yet. We don't have the public, we as in the public, does not have any evidence of him committing these acts, right? It's just a he say versus she say. That's all it is right now. It's his word versus their words. And there's a lot of them. It's a lot of them. 14 and potentially up to 20 or 22. That's a lot of them. And the stories are similar. But it's very ironic all of this comes out when the man wants out of Houston. It's very ironic all of this comes out when the man demands a trade. It's very ironic that all this comes out when the man said, I will never play for the Houston Texans again. That's very ironic. Very ironic. And for this lawyer, this Tony Buzbee, I told you guys, I didn't like this guy from the jump. But for this Tony Buzbee guy to keep going to the public and keep trying to convict this man in the court of public appeal is horrible. It's a horrible lawyer. It should be lawyer malpractice to get here and just go out and throw dirt on this man's name. He hadn't got his day in court yet. So I don't know, man. I don't know. This is Deshaun Watson stuff. Like I said, I hate it for him. But if he did what these women are saying he did, he needs to get dealt with. But once again, I'm going to die on the hill of innocent until proven guilty. I'm a black man, and I'm always saying black men are innocent until proven guilty. If you have the evidence that says that they did what you claim that they did, then by all means, they should be dealt with. But if we're just doing if that's the case, I can just say anybody did anything to me. If we're not going to use evidence, if we're just going to say, just throw dirt on people's name. No, we need to have evidence. Evidence. That's all I have to say. Once again, I'm Jeff Lightsy Jr. at the Black Boss Channel. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button on your way out. Thank you guys for listening. I'll see you next time.